Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Caparula, and tonight's topic will be reading food labels. Let's get started. Before we look at an actual label, you need to know that there are 5 main parts. Number 1 would be the serving information. Number 2 would be our macro or major nutrient information. Number 3, micronutrient information. 4, footnotes. And 5 would be the ingredients. So let's take a look at a label. This is part of a handout that you'll actually get tomorrow, but for right now it's just a nice visual as we go through the different parts. Serving information is up first, so the thing at the very top will always be the serving size. Serving size is the amount of food the nutrition information is based on. Also in that point it will tell the servings per container. So if we look up here, it looks like we have a box of crackers and it tells us the serving size is 6 crackers. It also tells us that you can get 13 servings of 6 crackers out of this box. That's going to be important to know when we get to the other information. Below serving size and servings per container, it's going to tell you the amount of total calories. If we look here, follow the arrow, it will be 120 calories. Now remember, that's based on serving size, so it's 120 calories for 6 crackers. If we double that, if we have 12 crackers, how many calories would we be consuming? Well, 120 times 2 is 240. Okay. After the amount of total calories, it's going to tell us the amount of calories from fat. So you can see of these 120 calories we eat, 40 of those calories will come from fat. And that's if people are tracking their fat intake and they need to know how much of that nutrient they're taking in. Next, we're going to move on to the major nutrient information, which is this purple and kind of orange colored section. Now, every label that lists major nutrient information is going to be listed in the order of fats, and then carbs, and then protein. So fat, carb, and protein. First, it'll give the amount in grams. So we've got our total fat, 4.5 grams. Then it'll give us percent of daily value based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Alright, so we see our total fat was 4.5 grams, but the daily value was 7%. And what that means is if you are supposed to take in 2,000 calories a day, if you eat these 6 crackers, you will have eaten 7% of the fat that you should have for the day. If we take a closer look at fats, it's going to list the total fat, as we've already pointed out, the 4.5 grams. That's going to break it down. There are several different types of fat, and it will list those and the amounts of each that it has. For right now, all you really need to know is that the different types of fat serve different functions in the body. We can get to that later. It will also, in this section, give information about cholesterol and sodium, 2 more key nutrients that we will discuss later on. In the carbohydrate section, it will first list the total carbs and then give the specific amount of fiber and sugar. So fiber is part of carbohydrates and sugar is part of carbohydrates, and it lets you know how much of each is in your crackers. Proteins, it simply lists the total protein. We don't have different types of protein listed on the food labels, at least not yet. Following this, you go down to your micronutrient information, where it lists various vitamins and minerals, down in that section right here below the arrow. Most often, labels will include vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. And those are the exact ones that are listed on this label. If you start looking at labels, those are the ones you're going to see most often. Down in this white block here, we have what are called footnotes. And first of all, it's important to know that these are not required to be on any packaging. Essentially what it is, it's a cheat sheet. It gives recommended amounts of nutrients. So say you're trying to read your labels and figure out if something's healthy for you or not, and you forget how much you're supposed to have of each nutrient. You can look at the footnotes and it will remind you. That's all that it's there for. The final thing that should be listed on any label is ingredients, and it's actually on a different part of this worksheet that you can't see here. But what it will do is every package has to have a list of all the ingredients in a product. That way, let's say you have allergies, you can look at the list of ingredients and make sure that there's nothing in it that's going to make you sick or perhaps violently ill or kill you if you are allergic to peanuts or something like that. Also, if you're trying to avoid eating certain things, either for health or for ethical reasons, like say if you're a vegetarian, you want to make sure you're not eating any meat. The ingredients are in order from greatest amount to smallest amount. So whatever's going to make up the most of these crackers here would be listed first. That would probably be something like flour. And then it will list the smaller ingredients by amount. So things like salt or baking powder or baking soda or any flavorings that went into the crackers, that would also be listed. So from greatest amount to smallest. And there you have a brief overview of reading food labels. Tomorrow in class, we're going to actually look at some labels and figure out how to analyze the foods and evaluate them to see if they're healthy for us or not. If you missed any of your blanks, please go back and fill them in. And I will see you tomorrow. Good night.